When it comes to understanding how people respond to your video content on YouTube, the very first place to look is your YouTube audience retention reports. Your audience retention reports are a second-by-second graph that YouTube gives us on every single video that we publish that lets us know exactly how our viewers are responding to what it is that we're putting out. But when looking at this information, it can be a little bit confusing. So because of that, as part of our YouTube Analytics series here on the TubeSpanner channel, I'm going to help you demystify it. So you can use this information to make better videos for your viewers, which will in turn help you get better results faster on YouTube. And by the way, if this is your first time here, my name is Nick, and I'd like to welcome you to the TubeSpanner channel, where we help you get more views, subscribers, and revenue from the content you're already making. So if you're a content creator, make sure you subscribe. And make sure you check out TubeSpanner, which is a tool for content creators, down in the description. In this video, I'm going to share with you 3 different audience retention reports. One is on a video with 10,000 views, another one on a video with 480,000, and one on a video with over 2 million, actually approaching 3 million. So that way you'll be able to see the importance of audience retention, but you'll also be able to rest a little bit knowing that videos can perform well even if the audience retention isn't perfect. Okay, so the very first video that we are going to look at here is a video on removing scam comments from YouTube videos. Now you'll see here right when the video starts, I get a little bit of a drop, but I was able to grab their attention right out of the gate. And we're gonna see exactly what it is that I do here. If you're like me and a lot of other content creators on YouTube right now, there's this huge problem going on where spammers will go and they'll create a new YouTube account with your profile picture, with your channel name. In some cases, they'll even steal your channel art. And then they go into the comment section acting like the account that they just... Okay, so right out of the gate, me sitting here explaining all of this, it's just too much, right? We can see that this isn't really holding people's attention. We can see that there's a little bit of a rise here where people are kind of skipping a little bit and then they're dropping out here. And then a little bit of a rise, which means that people were skipping forward. That's what that means. And then as we keep on going down here, we see that nothing really holds people until we get into this section right here. So as we're going through this, all this is me just explaining why this video is important. And to be honest with you, it was because I was trying to make the video just a little bit longer because I knew that with this particular thing that I was showing, it was going to be a really short video. But I paid the price for that because instead of giving viewers what they wanted, I gave them what they wanted plus some extra fluff, which I shouldn't have done. But let me show you where people start paying attention and where the leaving stopped, and delete all of those comments in a much more effective way. So let's head to the computer and I'll show you what to do. Okay, once you're in front of your computer, all you have to do is this. Go and find the comments that these... Okay, so right here, when I start talking about exactly what it is that they have to do, then that's where everybody started holding the attention, right? Because this is what people actually came into the video for. So when you're putting your videos together, you have to interpret this information here when you're seeing big drops like this as people just aren't interested in this information. They don't really care about that setup, or at least, you know, a lot of the people that are coming into this particular video, they don't care about that particular setup. So I need to get to it a lot faster. But once I start giving them what they actually want, then you can see people are watching it for a longer period of time, or they're holding their attention in those particular spots. Spammers are leaving. You can see in this example that I have 2 right here, and I can see that they're leaving a comment that is the same. So they're literally just spamming the same exact comment. So all you have to do. So as part of this, one more thing to consider is when somebody's watching a YouTube video, they can hover over the play bar and a thumbnail preview will pop up. So another thing that can be happening here is that as people are sitting there scrubbing that, they saw that it stopped on a computer screen, and then there it lifted in terms of them skipping from this part to this part right here. And then as we're going through it, you can see this small little dip right here. It's really small. It's a 1% drop that we have right here. But when we have that dip and it comes back up on the other side, that is a skip. So what I can see here is people are still just trying to skip through and get to the part they came into the video for. Into your Creator Studio, go over to comments, and then right up here, which is this part right here, where I'm literally showing them how to solve this particular problem. By default, you'll have the I haven't responded option. So you want to click out of that so that that will disappear. But anyway, as I'm starting to go through this, I'm showing people this is where you need to go in order to do it. And then people are going there and they're starting to drop off. But once the information is complete here and we go through that, waiting for YouTube to hide them from your channel. Another thing you want to make sure you do is click in the 3-dot menu as well and report them. And the reason that you want to do this is because you want to... And then I went into another part of that same information right there in terms of how to make sure that they don't come back in and make those types of comments again. And that was another one, as people were starting to leave. That one actually stopped people from leaving because I said another thing, right? Like, here, let me show you something else. And as I did that, it triggered them. This is my theory behind this. It triggered them to let them know, like, oh wait, there's more. And then that stopped them there. And then they continued slowly falling off from there. Now, let me show you a video that has 480,000 views on it. So this particular video is about how many videos you need to get noticed on YouTube. So the subject matter is very enticing by itself. And I structured this video in a way to where the thing that most of the people that are going to be getting presented my content, the thing that they want would be at the end of the video, but it's also important for them to know the other things as well, which is why I put them at the front. But you can see here, in this particular case, I was able to stop the drop or stop people leaving relatively fast. Watch. I'm gonna tell you how many videos you need to get 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, even 1 million subscribers here on YouTube. And we're starting right now. What is going on? My name is Nick from tubertools.com. Welcome to another video. If this is your first time here and you want to learn how to grow your channel, make videos, and all types of other YouTube related stuff, start now. Okay, so you can see right here through this whole part. So I had them, they were slowly dropping, and then I went into my logo intro that I used to put on all of my videos. Now I don't do that anymore. And this right here is the reason that I don't add that. Because this percentage of people, as they're dropping off right here, those are people that I might not get the opportunity to impact again. So because of that, I prioritize the viewer and what it is that they are experiencing over me flashing my fancy logo in their face. So right here, you can see that as soon as I started going into that, people started dropping out, but they leveled off down here. And then of course, as we started showing the screen again, right, it was that change up, then people, started paying a little bit more attention. You can see here, this is another instance of people jumping from this point over to this point for the skip because they're just trying to get through that intro. By subscribing and clicking the bell so you don't miss anything. And then they skip again because I'm still going on with this call to action right here. Okay, on my channel and other channels like mine, you constantly hear us talking about the importance of uploading a lot of content to YouTube.
I know, you guys talk about that stuff all the time. Jeez, I've uploaded like 10 videos so far. I should have blown up by now. I think YouTube hates me.
So one thing that you can see right here is the little skit that I did there with my slacker Nick is the name of that guy. But the little skit that I did right here, that held attention, right? So when I see that, that tells me, hey, maybe you should introduce slacker Nick again. Maybe you should bring him back in, or maybe you should have some type of character that you use in your videos from time to time as an experiment to see if it holds people. And then as we keep going through this video, we have a normal trail off here, but you can see these minor little skips of people just trying to get through the different milestones that we go through in order to find the ones that are important to them. But then you'll see this big skip from this area right here to this area over here. And the reason for this is because we are getting into the smaller amounts of subscribers. 73 videos. So think about that for a second. Like if you're just getting started and you're like, hey, why haven't I blown up yet? Just put that in perspective. The average channel with 100,000 subscribers to 1 million subscribers, 1,171 uploads to their YouTube. And then you can see here, people are still skipping, right? It's smaller channels trying to figure out how do we get these bigger, how do we get that next milestone? YouTube channel. Makes you feel kind of like, hey, I need to get to work, doesn't it?
No, I actually don't want to get back to work. I'm having a Twitter fight.
I know you don't want to get to work. I'm talking to them, people who are actually productive and do stuff. The average channel with 10,000. Okay, so one thing to note there is how we held their attention up here for the people that were already committed to the video. They're just waiting for that last part. Then once they come down to here, Slacker Nick didn't really help there. They still skip past that in order to, again, get to the information that they came into for the video. To 100,000 subscribers has 418 uploads. And for everybody watching this who is just getting started and you're like, hey, I'm just trying to get that first 1,000. What do I got to do to get that first 1,000? How many videos do I got to make? The average channel between 1,000 and 10,000 subscribers has 152 uploads. So if you've got 20 videos on your channel and you're thinking to yourself like, hey, why isn't this working out? So right here, they got the information that they wanted, right? This is what they actually came into the video for. And then now they're starting to leave. Across YouTube, it's just because the numbers haven't worked out in your favor yet. Hang in there. The more you learn, the more you practice, the better you're gonna get and the better you're gonna do. To learn more about YouTube, click any of the videos on the screen right now. So basically the idea here in this particular video is this is another one to where, as always, the things that are not important to the viewer get skipped by. Structurally, I did the right thing in this video because I was able to pull people through to where they were skipping these larger portions of the video here and getting at the end to the part that they actually wanted. So people were skipping ahead, but it raised my retention here at the end, which is a good thing. In this particular case, I could have definitely done better in this particular area, but this video turned out great in terms of audience retention, and I should have actually done a little bit better here at the end as well. But overall, this video turned out great, got lots of views on it. People were satisfied with this video. Now I'm gonna show you a video with over 2 million views. It's approaching 3 million views on this particular video. And I just wanna use this as an example to show you that the retention that you get on your video, sometimes if your thumbnail's good, the topic's good, and the timing is right, then you can have a video do very well, even if the retention is not that fantastic. In this one, we're doing a similar thing to where we have the beginning of the video, and then I have that logo intro again, right, that nobody comes in for, and you can see how people are dropping from that. What is going on? My name is Nick. I was able to grab their attention here, but then watch what I do when we're looking at this graph. Another video. If this is your first time here and you want to learn how to grow your channel, make videos, and all types of other YouTube related stuff, start now by subscribing and clicking the bell so you don't miss anything. I get asked a lot what the best video editing app is, so I figured, again, skipping ahead, right, from this part to this part. Hey, it's time I put a video together about it. And not only am I gonna show you the app itself, but I'm gonna give you a crash course on how to actually use it. Again, all these filler words, like they're great for context for the people that, want to watch the video. But in terms of the people that are in that I have to try to hold their attention, they're just skipping through, like, give me the stuff is what they're saying, essentially, through what this audience retention report looks like. And real quick, before we get into it, if you have an app that you currently use to edit on your phone, leave it down in the comments below so other people that are gonna watch this video can check that out too. The app we're gonna be using for this is called KineMaster. They have just called KineMaster, by the way, for this particular video. But anyway, you can see right here, once I actually get into the video itself, literally right at the splash screen for this video, that's the part that people skip to, and then they slowly started falling off from there. Now, the reason I think that this retention went south is because as we're progressing through this, I explain right here that I'm going to show people what it is, but I'm also going to show them how to use it. So here I'm showing them what it is. Now people are starting to leave because they're going to go to the App Store and get it. But as I play this, go ahead and say that this is available for Android and for iPhones. So it doesn't matter which platform you're on, KineMaster can take care of you. Now we're going to get this started with hitting the plus button. So as we do this, we're starting to get into the tutorial. So another thing that's happening here is as we're starting to go through this tutorial, people are starting to see like, hey, yeah, I can use this. This is easy to use. And then from there, once we get to this part, I'm not sure what I did right here, but people are starting to leave. It's been a long time since I've looked at this video. So I'm gonna fast forward, or rewind this, I should say, a few seconds, and we're gonna see what actually happens here that causes people to start leaving. And here, I'm going to go ahead and just select something for something that I did on Patreon. So once I have that in here, now you're gonna see that I have the options. If I click on this track, I can crop it, I can cut it, I can do different things with the speed controls, any of that stuff. I can do it all right over here. So we're gonna start it out with a color filter. So I'm just gonna smack this color filter on there just to kind of give it its own little look there. And then I'm gonna hit the check mark. Yeah, so in this particular case, in terms of people leaving there, the only thing that I can really pull from this is that people might be leaving just so that they can, they've seen like enough of the thing and then they're leaving for that reason. But there's nothing really obvious that's happening to me. Maybe you watching this, if you notice something, definitely let me know in the comments. But there's nothing extremely obvious here that would make me say, outside of them leaving the video, that make me say like, oh, I really screwed up there, I shouldn't have done that. If I click on this track, I can crop it, I can cut it, I can do different things with the speed controls. And then we stop the drop right here. We've actually stopped it a few times as we're going through. Or whatever. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to split it at the playhead just so I can show you how easy it is here to just drag and trim what's going on here. So you can actually break this down per frame, which is absolutely awesome because that really lets you dial in exactly what it is. Yeah, so as I'm going through that tutorial, some people are sticking around for the, information, and then some people are just like, hey, this is enough, I'm out of here. So the main reason I wanted to show you this is because of the drop here and the damage that logo intro can do if you use it as an interruptive experience for your viewers. If you just have it play kind of like we do here on the Tube Spanner channel where it pops up while we're talking as part of a transition or something, then it's not a big deal, doesn't have an impact there. But when you have a total interruption to the viewer experience, then you can expect people to leave when you have those intros. And it's not just like this on this channel, it's like this on pretty much every YouTube channel that has a logo intro. So make sure that you're being very intentional and thoughtful about if you want to use one of those or not. But here's another thing that I want to show you when it comes to the audience retention report. So if we click into see more, this is where we get another view of the same thing. And then here, it's a little bit wider, in terms of the view itself. But another thing I want to bring to your attention here is we have audience retention, we have relative audience retention. So relative audience retention is how each part of the video is doing compared to other videos of similar length. So in this particular case, on this video of over 2 million views, almost 3, we can see the hook outperformed, but we just did okay. We touched below average. And then here we went back up to, really just high average. And then we ended on a below average. If we go back to the video with 10,000 views on this particular one, if we do the same exact thing, we can see that the whole beginning of this was actually above average. And then we kept it average for pretty much the remainder of the video until right at the very end. And then for the one with 480,000 views on it, for this particular one, when we change it to relative, we have almost the entire thing above average until we get to the very end here. But we had 0% where we actually fell into the below average category, and almost the entire video was above average, which means that this was a super satisfactory video for the people that were interacting with it, because not only did they enjoy it, but they watched it for a long period of time. And compared to other videos on YouTube of a similar length, I actually did better than a lot of those videos. Now, one more thing that I do want to bring to your attention is right here, we have a chart guide for all of our audience retention reports. If you hover over this little chart guide, then you're going to see an explanation of what everything means. So here they show you that when the line's flat, means that viewers are watching that part from start to finish. The gradual decline means that viewers are losing a bit of attention over time. Spikes appear when more viewers are watching, rewatching, or sharing a moment or moments of a video. And then the dips mean that viewers are skipping or leaving your video at that specific point. So this is available for you anytime you're looking at your audience retention reports and trying to interpret what everything means. But as a quick tip for you, when you see videos of yours and you see these big drops right here in the beginning, keep in mind, this is the most important part of the video. If you can't get people past like this first 30 seconds or so, really the first minute, then the rest of the video is probably going to suffer because of it. And when it comes to slowing down this drop, the things that you can experiment with is exactly what they see in here on screen. Any variation of what they can see or hear on screen is going to help you there. That comes down to different options of maybe you sitting on camera for some of the footage. That maybe comes down to, instead of the viewer seeing you when they first come into the video, maybe they see some B-roll, or maybe they see something about the subject matter that you're talking about or something like that. In other cases, depending on the type of content you make, maybe having B-roll with a little bit of music playing. Also experimenting with not having music if you're currently playing music in your videos compared to having music. Or if you don't currently have music, maybe experiment with having music in your videos compared to not having music and see if that sets a vibe for your video, and then we'll keep people watching longer that way. But the idea is when you see these types of things happening in your videos, you have to go in and do something. If you don't and you're not paying attention, then you'll continue making the mistake like I was making here with having that interruptive logo intro and the really long subscribe call to action and things like that. Now, even though that call to action was extremely effective, and it still is when I do it from time to time, it's still not something that I want to constantly interrupt people with, which is why you don't see me doing it all of the time. But I'm getting close to my gold play button, which means it's really likely I'm going to start introducing that again because it is effective, even in the face of possibly lowering the video performance. So because of that, and knowing this information here, I know that if I am going to deploy that again, then I need to make sure that it's on videos that would typically have a higher watch time based on, or just a higher interest in general, based on what I know from my channel. To learn more about YouTube analytics quickly, make sure you click into this playlist right here. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments. And if you haven't yet, make sure you check out Tube Spanner, link down in the description. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.